This SmackDown opened up with Seth Rollins cutting one of the best promos I've ever heard from him throughout his entire career.
When CM Punk came back to the ring, it wasn't a WWE ring.
Instantly, you knew this was about to be a little bit crazy, and the references to AEW don't stop there.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
That one guy who makes those AEW references in WWE videos is living right now.
Paul Heyman brought myself, Roman Reigns, and Dean Ambrose into WWE to be a shield for CM Punk.
And I also found it kind of interesting here because this whole time, every time they've talked about Moxley, it's been Mox this, Mox that, and now they're referring to him as Dean Ambrose again. Man, I cannot wait for that Dean Ambrose return. Remove that text from the screen right now. It's gonna hit like crack, okay? When that Death Rebel theme hits, oh god.
That's not a prediction. That's a spoiler.
Because he's gonna nicely wrap up this AEW run. He's had a great time there and then come back for that Hall of Fame, baby. Yeah, man. But when he finally comes back and they don't have that and it's some bullshit. I hate it. No. Next on this SmackDown, it was time for the Andre Memorial Battle Royal. Introduced first was none other than Rey Fenix.
Joining WWE. Impressed us against Nathan Frazier.
It eventually comes down to a bunch of people I'd want to see win. We see Pete Dunne eliminate Ludwig Kaiser to the disappointment of everyone. And then The Miz gets eliminated too.
He was unselfish and it cost him.
And honestly, I was a little bit shocked. I kind of thought like, oh, Ludwig Kaiser winning and then maybe Gunther retaining. That could be a power move for the weekend. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing that. I think out of everyone, like it would have made sense if Ludwig would have won it because I feel like he's just about to make that elevation to becoming a singles champion or even a world champion eventually as well. I could see that for him, honestly. But the final four ends up being Nakamura, Andrade, Mello, and Phoenix. Andrade with a beautiful elimination on Nakamura, by the way. And then we see some beautiful in-ring work, which you'd expect from Phoenix, Mello, and Andrade until El Grande Americano comes out of nowhere to screw over Phoenix. That Phoenix El Grande Americano or that Phoenix Chad Gable match, both of them incredible competitors. Of course, I'm talking about Chad Gable and El Grande Americano separately because they're not the same person, right? But whenever we get that Phoenix versus either of those two people match, it's going to be fantastic, and I see it happening very soon. Maybe even the Raw after Mania. I mean, maybe on the Raw after Mania, you have Phoenix come and get his revenge on El Grande Americano. And then what do you know? Penta's also there as well. Uh-oh. I can feel it. I can taste it. DDJ is cooking. He's cooking. He's cooking. But then it was down to two. Andrade and Mello, and they cooked. Fluent offense, spinning back fist. The crowd is chanting. It was great. Eventually, my guy Mello don't miss, okay? He did not miss on this night. He finally won a chip. I love it. And Mello don't miss celebrates with the trophy. I love those two. Phenomenal stuff. We then see a snippet of Charlotte Flair yapping.
Is that people tune in to see Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. They're gonna tune in to see Charlotte.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't care anymore. Just shut the fuck, just please. Next, Rhea Ripley talks about losing her championship right before WrestleMania, saying that's her bad. But she remains defiant, saying that she will walk out a 3-time this Sunday.
Rhea Bloody Ripley is walking out of WrestleMania, your 3-time Women's World Champion!
She's then interrupted by Io Sky, who, by the way, that fit is fire. I was watching the WrestleMania kickoff earlier in the night, and clearly they came straight from there to SmackDown. So obviously same fits, but my goodness, all these stars look like stars. Also, Braun Breaker did Steiner math, and that was hilarious.
They say that all men are created equal. But if you look at this fatal 4-way match and the members that are in it, you will see that that statement is not true.
I'ma finish what I started with her, and after that,
Yeah.
Speaking of Naomi, apparently Lana is going back to WWE in a Legends deal, allegedly. Which, I mean, crazy timing because her ex-husband is about to pull up again, but whatever. I said as much on Twitter. The Total Divas reboot agenda is growing. Jade eventually comes out looking like Shigo from Kim Possible. Again, fire fit. It all descends into chaos and Io hits an over the moonsault to take out everybody. We then see a backstage segment with Mysterio, Dragon Lee, Phoenix, and American Made, which eventually ends at a 6-man tag later in the show.
No, wait, I think they're serious. You guys want to fight us? Oh, that's a good idea.
And I've got to say, Chad Gable, once again, terrific. You are fantastic, that's all. Speaking of terrific, this next match for the tag team titles, the Street Profits against Motor City Machine Guns, was also terrific until DIY came down and ruined the fun.
The entire corner. Oh, Johnny Gargano.
It's a City Machine Guns and Cult. And they are now apparently high.
I love this game, actually. Come in there and just take the titles. Why not let it fly? Why not? Also, Ciampa, you are looking real jacked, baby. Next, Chelsea Green talks herself into a match with Zelina Vega for the title with the Secret Hervis banned from ringside, and she's none too pleased.
The singles match, so let's have wrestler singular in that singles match. We don't need Secret Hervis at ringside. Thank you so much.
And I'll be honest, I have a little bit to say about that whole Chelsea Green match and the way they're treating her, but we'll get there later. We also see a backstage segment where Nick Aldis is like, enough, give me the titles back. And then he goes ahead and says, next week on SmackDown, we're going to have a triple threat TLC match, not at WrestleMania.
They're going to be on the line in a TLC match.
Oh, my gosh. All right. Okay. Good. Hell yeah.
I could not believe it. I said, I got no words, actually. I'm pissed. TLC, nah, man. On Smack, no WrestleMania. No WrestleMania.
It took my breath away.
We then saw Randy Orton, who at this point still doesn't have a WrestleMania opponent.
Will fall victim to the 3 most dangerous letters in all of sports entertainment. RKO.
We could speculate all day who it's going to be on Sunday. I could give you my prediction, but let's just sit back and enjoy the show. In the following segment, we ended up getting a date, the 25th of April, for the mystery vignette, who I assume is Aleister Black. Which, by the way, I'm extremely excited to see him doling out black masses again. It's going to be fantastic. But if it isn't going to be Aleister Black, and Aleister Black is going to be here next Friday, then I'd assume it's going to be either an NXT call-up or maybe Rusev Day. And I mean, I don't think you necessarily need Aiden English to go ahead and be back full-time with Rusev. I don't think we need to run that all back, but at the same time, imagine the pop when Randy Orton is stood in the ring and you hear Aiden English go that place is going to lose their damn minds. Like, I know Randy Orton versus Rusev is such a SmackDown in 2018, like, oh, that match just happened, whatever, but in that, just give me the moment. I don't even care about the wrestling, honestly. I just want the entrance. I just want the entrance. And now that I'm thinking about it, again, this is like Dean Ambrose, the CFOS theme of Rusev. What are they gonna do? Oh, no. You know what, actually, maybe you don't even do the Rusev Day thing. Like, maybe he makes a little reference to it, but honestly, Miro in AEW was one of the shining examples of that prime AEW time, that 2021, 2022. Maybe you go ahead and open up with, like, the God promos that he used to cut. You know, where he'd be, like, in that one room, and it was brilliant. Oh, man, maybe you do that. Alternatively, if you want to go another direction, I would not say no to a Trick Williams showing up at WrestleMania. Like, as long as that crowd's into it, which I assume they would be because they know who he is by now. I assume Trick Williams probably isn't going to win the NXT title again at Stand and Deliver, so maybe you go ahead and you have Trick Williams versus Randy Orton. That's a hell of a way to debut. Or maybe, while I'm just spitballing here, the ruler of NXT, you can't beat Oba Femi. Damian Priest cut a final promo on Drew McIntyre, but I was distracted by the way my screen turned Damian into a green goblin. He basically says he's going to bury Drew and future endeavor him again, like quite literally he uses that verbiage, so cool, I guess. I don't know.
He's cooking here, brother. Can she pull it off? Oh, that's a great win.
Women's mid-card champions. What are you doing? I mean, sweet code red from Zelina, I love you, you're great, but come on, man. But if there's one thing that I know about wrestling, it's that I can argue and complain and jest about little stuff like this, but in reality, it doesn't matter. Chelsea and Lyra will both be fine as the mid-card champions. It's just a bad decision. It's not a bad reign. Then LA Knight says his final words before his match against Jacob Fatu at Mania, and says Fatu will be a champion someday, but not against the megastar. His match against Solo ends in disqualification, which all ends in a brawl with Braun Strowman getting involved. Nick Aldis comes out and says, hey man, you guys got a lot of fight in you tonight. Let's do a tag match, which ends with LA Knight hitting a BFT on Solo for the win.
But instead, BFT, blunt force drama.
Jacob is so winning that US title on Saturday or Sunday, whichever day it's on. He's so winning that title. Tiffany Stratton then talks about feeling bullied and her insecurities around this Charlotte Flair business. She continues talking about how she's standing up to a bully in Charlotte Flair and is going to retain at Mania.
I felt my moment and I came at her with a kill shot. I played Charlotte Flair at her own game and I gave her a taste of her own medicine.
And Tiffany, I sure hope you're right. But also Charlotte Flair, you know, she beat Asuka and Asuka shouldn't have lost either. So are you above Asuka? No. Are you above Charlotte Flair politics? No. Are you going to be okay after this? I sure hope so. And I don't even completely hate Charlotte Flair, but at what point do we just say, enough is enough? Come on, man. We've been doing the same thing for years. I'm the queen. Woo! Shut the fuck. I respect you. Hell, one of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, but in terms of character work, you're a fucking bum. Been milking this same thing for years and years, the same exact thing. Every other horsewoman has been doing something different, but you, every single year, handed opportunity after opportunity, same shtick over and over again with a slightly different attire or maybe a slightly different crowd interaction, and I'm fucking sick of it. And that's not even necessarily me not wanting Charlotte to hit 16 championships, because I think the moment is going to be great. But at the same time, at what point do we go ahead and call her a big fat fraud for not having any other variation on her character in her entire career? She has just been a Flair. There's not been another variation, really. And so for me, I just want to see more from Charlotte Flair, because I know she's got it in her bag. She has to, okay? I want to see more, okay? Rey Fenix is absolutely fantastic, and he shows his entire skill set in this one, eventually picking up the win with a Meteora.
Shut your mouth, kid.
That is a soundbite.
Cena says what he's doing is unprecedented and that he's not going to be like every other wrestler who eventually comes back after retiring.
There's no such thing as a wrestling retirement. There's always one more match. The reason there isn't a wrestling retirement is because every other wrestler is a scared, insecure loser.
Cena continues saying Cody doesn't stand a chance, and also,
you're still just a kid in a man's world who doesn't have the balls of the last real champion.
Cody eventually responds and cooks the hell out of Cena's entire appearance and says that Cena has become an errand boy.
You're out of touch and you're out of time. Your face is melting wax. You got a stack of dimes for a neck and you still can't wrestle.
Cena takes a cheap shot on Cody and then goes for an AA, but Cody eventually stands tall after hitting another crossroads on Cena, and the math is mathing. I definitely go ahead and say that this was a pretty solid episode of SmackDown, and it was definitely better than the Raw before Mania. But I really do think now with that go-home math that Cena is winning number 17 this Sunday, and we will be there.